The Northwestern Operational Command is a command of the Belarus Ground Forces. It is headquartered at Borisov and is commanded by Major General Alexander Grigoryevich Volfovich. The command includes a mechanized brigade and a mixed artillery brigade. It was formed in 2001 from the 65th Army Corps. The command traces its lineage to the 65th Army of the Red Army, a field army of the Soviet Union during World War II. It was formed in October 1942 from rebuilding elements of the first formation of the 4th Tank Army on the Don Front. The army was commanded by Pavel Bitov until after the fall of Berlin, and served in various fronts commanded by Konstantin Rokossovsky for the duration of the war. Post-war, the 65th Army was moved to the Belarusian military district, where it became the 7th Mechanized Army. In 1957 it became the 7th Tank Army. With the dissolution of the Soviet Union, the army became part of the Belarus Ground Forces and was downsized into the 7th Army Corps in 1993. A year later it was renamed the 65th Army Corps. History. Initial operations 4th Tank Army, under command of Maj. Gen. Vasily Kruichenko, launched numerous counterattacks against the German corridor to Stalingrad from August to October 1942, until it was severely depleted in strength. Bitov, who had previously commanded the 51st Army and the 3rd Army, assumed command on October 22, with orders to rebuild these forces as a combined arms army, the 65th, as part of Rokossovsky's new Don Front. This was accomplished by mid-November, and at this time the army consisted of 3 Guards Rifle Divisions, 6 Rifle Divisions, 2 separate tank brigades, 3 Army Artillery Regiments, 1 Howitzer Regiment, 5 Guards Mortar Regiments, and supporting units. 65th Army played leading roles in both Operation Uranus, attacking out of the Kremenskaya bridgehead on the south bank of the Don, the encirclement of German forces at Stalingrad, and the reduction and surrender in Operation Ring. Rokossovsky later wrote in reference to Bitov and his army, displayed fine initiative with an improvised mobile task force. By striking at the enemy's flank and rear, the task force ensured the swift advance of the other units. Redeployment to Central Front. Following the German surrender at Stalingrad, Rokossovsky's forces were redeployed northwest to become the new Central Front in the region around Kursk. 65th Army exploited a gap between the weak 2nd German Army and the 2nd Panzer Army, but was brought to a halt by the spring Rasputitsa. German reserves released by their evacuation of the RZHEV salient, and the German counter-offensive to the south of Kursk. 65th Army then dug in during the 3-month lull in operations, towards the northwestern sector of the Kursk salient. At this time the order of battle of the 65th Army was as follows: 18th Rifle Corps, 27th Rifle Corps, 37th Guards, 181st, 194th and 354th Rifle Divisions, 4 separate tank regiments, 2 anti-tank regiments, 2 mortar regiments, 2 Guards Mortar Regiments, and other support units. Army strength: 100,000, 1,837 guns and mortars, 124 tanks and self-propelled guns. Due to its position in the western sector of the salient, the 65th emerged mostly unscathed from the Battle of Kursk, and was well equipped to exploit the German defeat. In late July and August the army joined in the pursuit of German forces to the Dnepr River. On the 15th of October, with divisional and army artillery firing 1,000 shells per minute in support, the 193rd Rifle Division forced a crossing of the Dnepr. From this point on, the 65th Army began earning a well-deserved reputation for its abilities in river crossing and bridgehead operations. Operation Bagration. Rokossovsky's command was renamed 1st Belarusian Front, and in June 1944, 65th Army took part in major strategic operations in Belarus. The Army's order of battle at this time was as follows: 18th Rifle Corps, 105th Rifle Corps, 15th and 356th Rifle Divisions, and 115th Rifle Brigade. 1st Guards Tank Corps, 1 separate tank regiment and 4 separate self-propelled artillery regiments, and other support units. In a well-known confrontation at the planning stage, Rokossovsky convinced Stalin that, given the terrain, it was better to strike 2 strong blows against their German forces than just one. He was counting on Batov's ability to lead his army across swampy regions south of Bobruisk, using corduroy roads, swamp shoes, and other means. 65th Army did not disappoint, and within a few days the German 9th Army was encircled and mostly destroyed. For his performance, Batov was promoted to Colonel General. 65th Army crossed the Bug River on July 22 and pushed on to cross the Narev River north of Warsaw by Sept. 4. Operation Bagration had run out of steam, but Batov's army held off strong German counterattacks against the Narev bridgehead for more than 2 months. Following this, Rokossovsky was reassigned to command of 2nd Belarusian Front. A shift in front boundaries accompanied this, and 65th and 70th Armies became part of his new command. In the following months, forces were built up in the Narev bridgehead for an offensive to be launched in January into Germany. During the new offensive, 65th Army forced a crossing of the Vistula River in early February. Rokossovsky later noted, "I had been with 65th Army since Stalingrad and had had ample opportunity to observe the splendid combat qualities of its men, commanders, and, of course, Pavel Batov, a brave and talented soldier." Quote, in March 1945, the order of battle of 65th Army was as follows: 18th Rifle Corps, 46th Rifle Corps, 105th Rifle Corps, 1 separate tank regiment and 1 separate self-propelled artillery regiment, and other support units. For the Danzig operation, the Army also had the 66th Guards Sioux Brigade attached, the Red Army's only heavy Sioux Brigade, a potent force of 60 ISU 122 self-propelled guns. The offensive propelled 65th Army into eastern Germany, finally to the Oder River, near Stettin and Oder, where it once again forced a difficult river crossing in April 1945. Officials of the city surrendered to Colonel A. G. Frelenkov's 193rd Rifle Division on April 26. Cold War. In April 1946, the 65th Army was reorganized as the 7th Mechanized Army at Łódź. On the 20th of December, it became the 7th Tank Division, with its divisions becoming regiments. It was headquartered in Borisov from May 1948. On the 21st of March 1950, it was increased in strength to an army with its old designation. In 1955, the 7th Mechanized Army was equipped with the IS-3, T-54, T-34 and PT-76 tanks, as well as the ISU 122 self-propelled gun. In 1957, the 7th Mechanized Army was transformed into a 7th Tank Army. The 10th Tank Division was reformed in the 34th Tank Division. 15th Guards Mechanized Division was reformed in the 47th Guards Tank Division. 27th Guards Mechanized Division, the 39th Guards Tank Division. In 1960, the 47th Guards Tank Division was renamed the 45th Guards Tank Division. In 1965, the 45th Guards RIV Tank Division became a training tank formation subordinated to the Belarusian military district, and the 39th Guards Tank Division was reorganized into the 37th Guards Regiment Tank Division. From 1960 to 1980, the basis of the 7th Tank Army was formed by the 3rd Guards Kotelnikovo, the 34th Dnieper, and the 37th Guards Regiment Tank Divisions. The formation actively participated in well-known large-scale exercises and maneuvers such as D&EPR, Nemin, Divina, Exercise ZAPAD-81 and Fall 88. By a decree of the Presidium of the Supreme Soviet on 15 January 1974, for good results in combat training, the 7th Tank Army was awarded the Order of the Red Banner. A USSR Ministry of Defense directive dated 25 January 1989 ordered the disbandment of the 3rd Guards Tank Division, effective from 1 June 1989. Instead, the 19th Guards Nikolisk-Budapest Tank Division was moved from the southern group of forces in Hungary to Zaslanovo. On 7 November 1990, Tank Army had 764 T-62 and T-72 tanks, 208 infantry fighting vehicles and armored personnel carriers, as well as 212 guns, mortars and multiple rocket launch. It also included the Scud-equipped 76th Rocket Brigade. Service in the Belarus Ground Forces. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, the armed forces of the Republic of Belarus were created on the basis of the Belarusian military district, including the 7th Tank Army. In 1993, the 7th Tank Army was renamed the 7th Army Corps, and in 1994 the 65th Army Corps. In December 2001, as a result of the reform of the armed forces of Belarus, the Corps was transformed into the Northwestern Operational Command. Since then, the troops and staff of the NWOC have participated in the exercises NEMAN 2001, BEREZINA 2002, the Shield of the Fatherland 2004, Shield of the Union 2006, West 2009, and others. A joint operational exercise of the Armed Forces of the Republic of Belarus and the Russian Federation, Shield of the Union, was held in 2011. The exercise was held at the Ashuluk Range in Astrakhan Oblast in the Russian Federation. The command participated in Exercise West 2011. Units. The following units are part of the Northwestern Operational Command: 120th Guards Rogoshevskaya Mechanized Brigade, 231st Mixed Artillery Brigade, 427th Multiple Rocket Launcher Regiment, 502nd Anti-Tank Artillery Regiment, 740th Minsk Anti-Aircraft Rocket Brigade, 42nd Separate Signal Battalion, Electronic Warfare Troops, 244th Signals Intelligence Center, Corps of Engineers, 7th Tauran Order of Alexander Nevsky and the Red Star Engineering Regiment. Storage bases: 814th Service Center, 19th Nikolisk Budapest Red Banner Order of Suvorov 2nd Class Base for storage of weapons and equipment, 34th Dniprovskaya Base for storage of weapons technology, possibly disbanded, 37th Rechitkaya Base for storage of weapons and equipment.